know now. Show me, make I know now. If you don't show me, make I know now. If you don't love me, tell me, make I know now. Show me, make I know now. Don't show me, make I know now. If you don't love me, make you don't love me, love me. If you don't hate me, oh, I take this man go seriously, oh, if you don't take it, go play me. Nobody can say you love me.
Thank you, PJ. Thank you for the entertainment. Totally appreciate. Good afternoon once again. If we can look at our chronometers, I think we are 1 minute late. We said we would start at 2:30. I think it's already 2:31 or 32. My apologies. I want us to take 5 minutes. For those who were here yesterday, I remember I gave you a copy of the university prayer and a copy of the university anthem. Those who managed to carry theirs, please bring them out, most especially the university anthem, because I want us to take 5 minutes learning the university anthem before we can start on the program. For those who have just come today, don't worry, I am making more copies, and I'm going to give them to you before we start the practice. And for those who forgot theirs, those who had filed theirs already, please tomorrow don't forget, because we have the swearing-in ceremony tomorrow, and that means we shall need to sing the university anthem. So I want us to get ready. We can go through the words. The gentleman here is called Samuel. He's going to take us through the university anthem. But please don't think it's very difficult. It is a very simple anthem. I would like to welcome all those who have joined us online. The orientation program has started, day 2, for the students of August 2020 and February 2021. You're welcome to the orientation program. Before we start, permit me to recognize the presence of the e-learning officers. Joseph, you're welcome. Collins, thank you for coming. They are the ones who take us through the e-learning process at Okunga University. I would like also to recognize the presence of the academics minister. He's here with us today. For those who are not here, he was here yesterday. Honorable Isaac, thank you for coming. I would like also to recognize the presence of the Matia Kasaija of Okunga University Youth Government, the finance minister. Thank you, Honorable Mambo. Thank you for coming. My Lord, the Chief Justice, thank you for coming. The Chief Justice for Okunga University Youth Government. So I would like us to dwell so much on the university anthem today. I would like us to stand up as we do the practice. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to look at this anthem. It has 2 verses. But we shall first look at both verses, verse 1 and verse 2. The first part is the first verse. Then this one is chorus. Then verse 2 and this chorus. So there are 2 verses here. So we are taking one voice. It goes like this.
Oh, you lead the way, and you are great before the eyes of the Lord. Just be taking 2 lines first. It goes like that. It goes. Oh, you lead the way, and you are great before the eyes of the Lord. Can you repeat that? Yes. Oh, you lead the way, and you are great before the eyes of the Lord. We go to the next 2 lines. Next 2 lines. You have no future, you are the source of light, you are holding the key of education. You have no future, you are the source of light, you are holding the key of education. Can you see that? You have no future, you are the source of light, you are holding the key of education. Let's sing again. You have a future, you are the source of light, you are holding the key of education. And we, from the start, from the start. Oh, my you lead the way, and you are ready for the eyes of the Lord. You have a future, you are the source of light, you are holding the key of education. I think there we are moving on. Let's keep this one, go to this one of verse 2. Because it moves the same way. Moves the same way. So the first line, the first 2 lines. Oh, my you lead the way, we have told all the values that you teach. Let's first stop there. Oh, my you lead the way, we have told all the values that you teach. Again. Oh, my you lead the way, we have taught all the values that you teach. Let's continue. The 3rd and 4th line. Creativity and character in all that we do, with confidence and confidence to guide us. Let's do it again. Creativity and character in all that we do, with confidence and confidence to guide us. Okay. the whole thing, the whole verse there. 3, we go. We have gone for the values that you teach. Creativity and character in all that we do, with confidence and confidence to guide us. Let's do it again. Oh, by your leave the way, we have come from the values that you teach. Creativity and character in all that we do, with confidence and competence to guide us. Okay, we go to the first chorus here. First part, first chorus. First part, first chorus. Yes. Oh, my way, you were chosen for the service of the Lord. I owe you my services, you make my future bright. I owe you my dedication. Again, the chorus.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do it once. The chorus once, then we sing the first verse and the chorus. Anyway, we stop for now. So, yes, home by your lead the way, you were chosen for the service of the Lord. I owe you my services to make my future bright. I owe you my dedication. So verse and the chorus, and it's okay. Remember the verse? Okay. Oh, my lead the way, and you are ready for the eyes of the Lord. You make our future, you're the source of life, ordinary of education. Yes, whom you lead the way. You were chosen for the service of the Lord. I owe you my services to make my future bright. I owe you my dedication. Okay, for now, let's okay.
Master, the ladies are doing so well. Eh? And the gentlemen.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me call upon the Minister of Finance to come and give us an opening prayer. Honorable Mambo, come and give us an opening prayer. Good afternoon, everyone. Can we stand up and pray? Oh God, we thank you for bringing us together at this time. We pray for your continued blessings upon us and our responsibilities for the growth and development of these institutions. We ask for your guidance and inspiration so that whatever we do here is acceptable to you and beneficial to the institution and all of us. May your name be glorified forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Students, yesterday we had our first day of orientation. We go to remarks from the Dean of Students, His Excellency the Guild President, Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Minister of Education, and the Academic Registrar. Before me are deans of students and the e-learning officers, the IT members. Next to me, she is Madame Robin Awalue, representing the Dean of School of Business Administration. The lady in green is Dr. Esther Namagonia, Dean, School of Education. The next lady is Dr. Anne Abaho, the Dean of School of Social Sciences. The gentleman is Mr. Rosa Joseph, the e-learning, one of the e-learning officers, the MIT department. We will be taking you through the online training later towards the end. Then we have Mr. Nwaba. Those who were here yesterday, you saw him. Then in our midst, we have the Chief Justice, Honorable Standard, Jumaine Kenneth. Then we have the Minister of Education. Some of you were here meeting, Mr. Isaac Mukwezi, and then the Honorable Finance Minister, Honorable Mambo. I don't want to take a lot of your time. The deans are going to talk about what happens in their respective schools. Those who have questions, you will ask them. Without wasting any time, I'm going to start with the Dean Anne Abaho, Doctor, to say something about her school of social sciences.
Thank you, Dean of Students. Are there any people here in social sciences? What schools do you belong to if you're not in social sciences? Good afternoon to you all. You have heard my name. I am Anne Abaho. I am the Dean School of Social Sciences. It is my pleasure to join you today as you go through the orientation process at Ngumba University. I want to begin by telling you what social sciences as a school is. Social sciences, which is one of the 6 schools in Ngumba University, has 1 dean, 1 head of department, 1 dean, 1 head of department, 1 administrative assistant, The administrative assistant is in charge of your results. The dean is in charge of all that happens in the school, academic affairs. So if you have a relationship with a boyfriend and it doesn't go well, I'm not responsible. But if you have a lecturer who is not coming to class, your coursework was not returned, you don't get your marks, then I am responsible. The head of department works together with the dean to ensure that academic activities in the school can smoothly run. The courses that we offer in the school range from a series of what you have seen if you applied online, but should it happen that you didn't see them, among the ones we offer are public administration and management, international relations, we teach diplomas. These diplomas whom you see in Foreign Affairs Ministry, we are the ones who train them. Can you imagine? All those ones have passed here. All those members of parliament that you see bringing in international issues, questioning the budget, questioning human rights, they have all gone through social sciences. We also teach security studies. The police officers who do not beat people have all gone through social sciences. The ones who head the military that don't beat people have all gone through social sciences. We teach human rights. So if you hear people talk about human rights, they've gone through social sciences. We teach monitoring and evaluation. If you have NGOs that are monitoring their projects, they have gone through social sciences and a series of many others. So you who has chosen social sciences, are in the right place. Why do I say you are in the right place? Social sciences teaches and emphasizes the production of a complete individual, a holistic individual. And by holistic individual here, I mean that you don't just pick the academic, but you also pick the social and how a human being literally should be in order for him or her to survive in society. We are the ones who equip you with the skills and knowledge that can enable you survive not just in school, but also beyond school. From those courses I have mentioned, you qualify to work anywhere, whether in international NGOs, whether in ministries, whether at the airport, because the courses through which we take you, equip you with a series of skills and competences and knowledge that can place you anywhere in any department, beyond, in Uganda and beyond. But what do you need to do? What do you need to do as a student in social sciences for you to be able to sail through? You have come here as students. You have not come here to waste time. You have not come here to show us who you are. You have not come here to tell us where you come from. You have come here as a student. So the first thing that we request of you is that you be meek and humble. You be meek and humble and do what has brought you here, which is classes, which is to study. We do understand that we have people of different backgrounds, academic, social, economic. We have people whose parents are of high profile. We have people whose parents have no profile, but when you're here, we treat you as one. So do not carry the profile that you have at home amongst your neighbors and bring it to school. Submit to the people who are going to come to you to deliver lectures to you. So because you are a student, we expect you to be in class on time. The lecturers you're going to meet have different principles, have different rules. Many of them are not easy to have their principles bent. Do not look for an opportunity to begin accusing the lecturer of not bending his or her principles. If class is at 7, the lecturer is in at 7. Why are you coming in at 7:30? when you're coming in at 7:45. It might happen today, but what if you make it a habit? If you come the next 2 weeks and the lecturer throws you out, it becomes an issue. Then you want the entire school to know. Before we realize you have run to the dean, before we realize you have run to the academic registrar, among others. So yes, you be known for the right reasons. If you attend classes, you should also be able to do coursework. Courseworks, many are referred to sometimes as tests. But those tests, those courseworks will contribute to your final performance. In most of these courses, the tests which you do mid-semester, at the beginning of the semester towards the end, will contribute to the final 100% that will go into your results, 30% of that. If you miss the 30%, you're now working for 70%. But I want you to know that even if you sit the exam and get 70 out of 70, you have still not yet passed. You must have a mark for the coursework. I want you to get that clear. You must have a mark for the coursework. The final is 100%, but the coursework, those tests we are talking about, contribute 30% to the final. So make sure you do that 30% as well. And if you do not, there is also a possibility of a lecturer denying you to sit their exam. Because 30% is what allows you, is what qualifies you to go for the 70%. So if you're supposed to sit it and you don't sit it, I don't see a reason why you should go for my exam, and yet I did not assess you for the coursework. Should it happen that you do the coursework, if you do the coursework, make sure that you submit that coursework timely. Make sure you submit the coursework timely. Again, if you are to be known by any member of the school, whether lecturer or dean or head of department, you be known for the right reasons. We don't want a situation where everyone else has submitted from class, and for you, you're calling the lecturer, saying you can find them wherever they are, and you give them the coursework. You do what others are doing. Don't try to be different from the others. If you do not submit the coursework, should it happen that you don't submit the coursework, it is important that you immediately look for ways of submitting that coursework. But the lecturer should also be in the know as to why you have not submitted. The dean is not going to submit your coursework. The head of department will know. Yes, we are administrators in the school, but the lecturers have rights over their classes. So if they set their principles and you choose to break the principles, do not think that you're going to find a defender in the dean or a defender in the head of department. You do things timely in an organized manner. When we come to exams, if you don't have the exam, you definitely don't have the final grade. So your results will be pending. And I hope you understand early enough the implications of missing exams. If you miss an exam, that means you will do it when it is offered again. So you have come, for example, in February 2021. If you don't sit the exams for February 2021, that means those papers will be offered again in February 2022. But if they are offered in February 2022, remember you will have papers of first year and also papers of second year, second semester. Those will be 12 papers. The university can only permit you to do 8 papers at most. So you can see someone who comes here for 3 years, you end up spending 4 years. Because the 12 minus the 8, which the university allows you to do, gives you a balance of 4. And they will be offered again 2023 February. So you need to plan your life and know within which time framework you want to finish. Of course, that also implies that the resources have to go high. Whatever you miss in life, there is always a pay for it. Avoid those extra costs. Now, when you have started these exams, they are no longer yours. The responsibility now is to the lecturer and the school. So the lecturers are expected to mark and return the results. It then becomes the duty of the school to process these results, enter them into the system, and also pin them up. On the part of pinning up results, I want to implore all of you that when you hear that results have been released, make sure you check your results. There's something we call an annual report. An annual report shows you your performance per semester. Make sure you have that evidence. And normally when you're doing exams, you have what we call examination permits. Do not lose those examination permits. Because if it happens that you don't have any of the results, the first thing we ask you is, where are the examination permits at the school level for us to prove that you start the exam? So again, you need to follow up your performance. You need to follow up your records. You need to keep track of your academic history as you're here. But also, should it happen that you get a retake, for example, should it happen that you get a retake, it is important that you do that retake as fast as possible when that paper is offered again. Do not keep a retake of first year. Retake, for those of you at the bachelor's level, retake means you have performed at less than 50%. So make sure that you get the immediate opportunity available to do this paper as early as possible. And I want to tell you again that if you keep a retake of first year, you want to do it in third year, you never know what will have happened. The program may have changed, may have been reviewed, and that course has been pulled out. And yet you must finish on the program on which you entered. So it will create confusion for you by the school as a whole. Lastly, I've been talking about being known for the right reasons. And this specifically goes to the girls. And it's not news. You have had under many institutions of cases of sexual harassment. Do not make yourself available for sexual harassment. Don't make yourself available for sexual harassment. What do I mean by making yourself available? You will want to bring your coursework late. You will want to call the lecturer to find him where he is. You will miss the exam. You will not do as many things as he has assigned so that you look for him. Now, if you look for him, we suppose that people who have come here are all 18 years and above. Is there anyone 16 and below? We have a child here. So if you begin to find people where they are, it means you have consented to finding them where they are. But should it happen that anyone is asking you to find them where they are, then I have reason to intervene. If it is coming from the school side, then I have reason to intervene. And if you find challenges, maybe someone you have tried all that you could. You have gone through the class coordinator, you have gone through the head of department, but it seems things are not working out for you. You can then approach the highest office in the school, and then we see how the issue can be resolved. But always make sure that before you come, you're on the right side of the case. So don't put yourself out there and say, I'm going to run there. Lastly, again, I want to say that Nkumba is big, but also small. I am sure since you came, you have seen all offices already. Have you not? Don't you know where the academic registrar's office is? Not yet. Are you in Nkumba? The offices are very close to each other. We request of you that do not rush issues. Give schools an opportunity to manage these issues. Do not cause unnecessary tension in the university, unnecessary panic in the university. Do not allege until your issue has been presented to the school level, and maybe when the school fails, you can then forward it above. And for the boys, for the men, sorry, I didn't know I was talking to you. For the men, I want to promise you that the women in this university are perfect. They don't just deliver, but they also counsel. They understand your problems. So in case you have any challenges, approach any of the female administrators in the school and other schools as well. Welcome you to Kumba University and wish you a safe stay around. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Madam Dr. Anna Kaho. Let me hand over to the speaker to take us through the next thing.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ann Abaho, for taking us through what happens in the School of Social Sciences. A round of applause for Doctor, please. Thank you very much, Doctor. We shall have the Dean of Education taking us through what happens in the School of Education and Humanities, and thereafter we shall have somebody communicating from SCOS, School of Social Sciences, Sciences, yes. And then after we shall have the Dean of SBA. SBA is the biggest school, and we expect a lot from her. So Dean of Education, you're very welcome.
Speaker, may I see the teachers standing up, if any? Teachers, you're refusing to stand up, but should you land in my office and I've seen you here failing to stand up, then will become a case. Welcome you to Mukumba University, all of you, to the respective schools you've been admitted. It is a great institution. I believe you must have learned about it before you choose to come here. As Dr. Ann has stated, you'll get whatever you need from Mukumba, if only you know the right path to take. If only you know the right path to take. Because if you don't take the right path, then you cannot get your destination. That is not doubting. You can't. If you have to travel to Kampala and you face Entebbe, then you cannot get to Kampala. So let us speak whatever we are told and more that is going to come to you. She has raised most of the things, and generally to all of you and to all the schools where you belong, maybe something to add is about your admission. You all got admitted to the respective school. At a certain point, you will feel you are perhaps not admitted to the right school you wanted to belong to, and you feel like changing to join another school. I would say that that is one of the things that are going to make you fail to reach your destination. Because you're changing a route now. The route you agreed upon with academic registrar is now changing, and you cannot get there. So we agree that there is a procedure to take. Should there be anything you want to adjust, change? If you are, for example, admitted to SBA and you feel you want to be a teacher, go back to the academic registrar first, because this is where you entered the university from. Go back, present what you feel you want. You have a right. All these offices are open for you. But we have noted that you need to take the right procedure. You do not wake up and run to the Dean, School of Education, and say, Please, I feel I should be a teacher. Having stayed here, I feel there is a lot I'm supposed to teach others. Yes, we are grateful that you have that lot, but please take the right procedure. We have issues to do with what we've covered after event period. When we get admitted, of course, Dr. Anne told you that you are here to study. You are here to move. Having moved, you should have the accountability. Pick that accountability, which is the annual report that she talked about. If there is anything you're not sure of, feel free to inquire. We have, I believe, as people who have been in academics for some time, that whenever you keep yourself green, you will never learn. If you keep yourself far away from the source of information, you can never have that information. We are 18 and above. We do not carry sticks here. We do not punish. The system punishes you. Yes. You fall out of the right path, it is the system that regulates. So let us try to inquire where necessary. Let us try to make ourselves informed so that we don't run short of knowledge about anything that we are involved in. We have people who join the university from their respective schools, and it so happens that you have done some courses earlier on. This is common with School of Education, that we have those earlier done courses recognized. We call that exemption and credit transfer. If you have a friend who belongs to the School of Education and has done a related course before, that person has to appear in the dean's office with the previous academic documents, and then is helped to recognize the earlier effort made. The same applies to other schools. If you have done a course that is related to that one you're doing, you may need to walk into the dean's office, the dean of your school. Make an inquiry if there is a possibility of recognizing the earlier effort made. We have changes in the records that goes on after we have started our studies. Names sometimes change, registration numbers change. The registration number is what your child could be. You've all gone to supermarkets. If you find a price attached to a book, it may not be the same price attached to maybe a jerrycan. Okay? Should there be a change, an interchange of those terms? There is likely to be a problem. And a problem will not only affect you, but it will affect the entire system. Because that's when a lot of smoke is going to rise within our system. My marks, I can't find my marks. People from Cuba are not considerate, and so on. Because they'll definitely tell you either you have to repeat that course where you messed up from, or you reapply and start afresh because they can't trace you. They can't trace you. Let us take note of all those numbers that we are given. Let us take note of all those marks that are attached to us. If the number flows like starting with a year of intake, followed by, the year you are admitted, followed by the intake, followed by the program, followed by your personal number. Do not change that you start with your personal number and then the rest of the things follow. it's not easy to choose some of the things if you tamper with them. So it has to maintain them the way they are. I'm usually, if I had teachers here, I will elaborate on all those things. Lastly, we need to understand who we are. You have started a journey which has all the business that can at the same time make you free. Be firm on your feet. The girls, they should say the ladies, and the gentlemen here. The first thing that you need to consider is self-respect. In all capacities, once you have self-respect, you can't go wrong. Because even when there is a problem, you will know how to express yourself rightly. So self-respect should be the opener of all your doors. I wish you well, and I wish you success in your life.
Thank you very much, Dean of School of Education and Humanities, for the teachers you heard from Madam, and you're going to be interacting with her quite often, and I have all the hands for her, please. Thank you very much. Myself, at one point, I fell a victim to the circumstance. When I joined this university, I came with a number of friends, and I realized that I was the only one in the school of SPM. Most of my friends went to school of sciences. After one semester, I felt like I should change and go to school of sciences. Because they were telling me a couple of good stories about it. Am I the only one? Yes, but then I discovered that I needed to put so that I would realize the buffer is temporary depending on how much effort you put. Thank you very much for talking to us. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together to welcome Madam Nabukoye from School of Sciences.
Thank you. Thank you, Speaker, for the I observe my protocol. Good afternoon to you all. Good afternoon to you, members. Are we okay? Yes? Yes. I welcome you all to Kuba University. As you have my name is Amelia from School of Science. I'm sitting here currently with an opportunity today. The reason is to aim is to study right. Yes? Yes. And when we do study, we need to study yes. First and foremost, I need to encourage us to read intelligence. That is what we important when we're in the university. And then we need to just happens to us to say, you have to go to campus. Things are easy. You just pass and go out. And that's not the case. We had and we pass if we believe. Yes, as the highest transparency, ensure that your phone is in silence, or if you have when you are taking the chance, you are very social media. Because the information we share is very important. We have So when you do this one, you can consolidate to everything, and we also have a purpose. Wi-Fi is not for people to chat with friends, but to do research, right? I see most of you to the point that they are using Wi-Fi. It is the time for you to do research to make crosswords. Someone mentioned something about crosswords. Crosswords are out of 30%, but one thing I want to add is that we should avoid plagiarism. Copy each other, right? When crossword the same time as you go to the crossword, we find that someone jokes whatever has done and submits the same thing. That is not allowed. Try as much as possible to be I would like to also in school of science, studying trials or studying trips, we are seeking means to try to make sure that we see something that we talk about in class in the field. Then we also have practical lessons, and we also have a laboratory where we do these practicals. I would like to also encourage us that when we are on campus, we have to try as much as we can to look for friends that matter. Right? Yes, you know, peer groups at times they can convince you to change into something that you are not. So try as much as you can to look for friends that are of benefit to you. In the School of Sciences, we encourage students to write their exams on time. If you missed an exam that was set last week, you don't come back the following day to say, I missed an exam because I wasn't aware. That will not help you. That will make you during the exam another semester. So try as much as you can to sit for your exams at the right time. Members, I would also like to talk about drugs. The youth abuse drugs a lot. It's not only sexual harassment that may happen around the university, but also the abuse of drugs. We will not encourage drug abuse, so members try as much as we can to keep away from that. Yes? Yeah, I would like to talk about something. If you're here at the course, most courses in schools go for 3 years. That is bachelor's, and then for the diplomas, they go for 2 years, right? Members, I would like to encourage us to also join associations around the university. We have various associations, for example, Interact, environment clubs, tourism clubs. For the lawyers, I know they have the law society clubs, then the procurement clubs. I encourage us to join these clubs such that by the end of your course, you not only have a transcript or a certificate, but also you have other certificates that will help you to build on your CV, right? Most of these associations will do voluntary work around campus and around the community. So they also help you to build your confidence and also to relate with other people. In the School of Science, I want to assure you that the offices are open in case you have any issues. Please feel free to contact the offices. The contacts of the lecturers are available to you. Please feel free to call your lecturers. You're also free to use their emails, but just in case you are talking about staying in school. I'd like to also encourage you to talk to your friends who have not yet joined this university and tell them about Mukumba University so that they can come and join us. My colleagues have already mentioned something to do with exams, keeping your results all the time. You should also learn to keep your receipts, you need to be at hand, because at the end of it all, we'll always ask for them. For now, I will submit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Namponde from School of Sciences. Thank you for your elaborate presentation. You have mentioned a couple of things that I would like to add a little, if permitted. You talked of clubs and associations. I would like to remind the new students that we have a number of associations, and Nkumba University compound is a compound that communicates. Even without asking a friend, you'll get to know that this association exists if you've been very keen. Every association has got what we call a parliament, and they have something to show they exist. They are good scientists. So if you've been keen wherever you move within the compound, you must have identified where you belong. Because I believe we all have tribes where we belong to, and we have got schools where we are going to be studying. That's why we have the deans of different schools talking to us. For students coming from the law school, you will be interacting with your dean and other staff members from the law school. They have got other engagements. They may not be with us here today, but I promise you will have to get in touch with them. If you cannot find them, you can come to the guild office, which I'll be able to show you these people so that you can keep interacting with them. Okay? Then yesterday I was interacting with I have an OG. She has joined me here from the same secondary school. And she was telling me, Rogers, I want so much to avoid the issue of retext. The deans have mentioned issues of retext. And then I told her, I am very happy hearing that. But I must tell you this as a fact. There's going to reach a point when campus will become sweeter. It is now sweet, it will become sweeter. Then before you discover, it will be sweetest. And once it becomes sweetest, you forget the purpose for which you're here will diminish to zero. That's when you will not even know. I told her you will not even know how the mistake has come about because you have reached the peak of enjoying campus. But all I'm trying to say is, if you have the focus, you will make it to what you want. Because I believe everybody here has come for A's and a first class degree. Unless you don't want a first class degree, you tell me, oh, I've come to settle for a first degree. I want a second class normal. But starting first March, you're going to tell whether you're still getting the first class or you're starting to say, no, at least I can now settle for second class normal. Thank you very much. Permit me welcome Madam from School of SBA. SBA is the biggest school. It's now called School of Business and Information Technology. There is a new structure coming up there. It's an ICT complex. Once it is complete, we shall have the ICT students. But for now, we are using one block, School of Business and Information Technology. Brothers and sisters, let's listen to this wonderful lady. She has a lot for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, MC and speaker at the same time. Hi. I want to greet you like a campus. I see people dozing, some are down, sitting postures, gone bad. Hi. Because you have masks on. Okay, welcome to Nkumba University. We are so honored to have you all around. We indeed honor your decision. We are so grateful that you decided to come. I wish you could thank yourself. You are in the right place. I want to thank God that we are alive. You know the story of COVID-19. God should be praised. Did you do so much to keep alive? You did so much. You even drank sanitizers, you even drank tangawuzi, you even did everything. It was God. So we really thank God for that. So in that respect, I want to say Happy New Year. There is a lot in Nkumba University. Very, very much. That's why I said you are in the right place. However, my name is Robina Walube. I'm standing in for my dean. Dean Nazarias is not here because of other responsibilities. But he sent you regards, all of you, regardless of where you are coming from, which school, and what have you. So SPA, we have 3 different departments. We have a department of accounting, we have a department of information technology, and we have a department of management and supply chain. However, there are so many other courses within all those departments as we get to know. But at some point we share with teachers, we share with tourists, we share with the speaker mentioned something like his OGs and OBs were in the School of Science and they had so many good stories. But you heard from the dean, she said they go for tours, they see gloves, they see snakes. So there's a lot of fun. Well, this way we are demanding for you to have a calculator, we are demanding for you to have all those things, and it becomes a bit different. But at the end of the day, it's the same family, one family, Kumba University. So don't get scared. Actually, they are very accommodative. At some point, they might even invite you to go with them on condition that you don't have coursework back at home. Now, ethics. My colleagues have spoken a lot about ethics. We need to be ethical in our conduct. Some of you, if I only ask for your ringtone, I can tell. Ringtones can tell which kind of person is this. Find a ringtone and they're like, oh my God, this ringtone. The way you speak, you are here, right here, and you are calling someone up there. Rebecca, from all here. All that calls for ethics. We are in a different community that is civilized as opposed to the one outside there. So we should be different, and those people should admire us. I love the way you people walk around telling people we are campusers, we are campusers. So that must match with ethics. Among the ethics, there is conduct. Of course, you have to conduct yourself to the way that measures up to the title that you have as a campuser. I've heard you singing about character, competence, confidence, creativity. Those are our 4 C's. And once you put those 4 C's into practice, you will be the right woman, the right person, the right man to help out for tomorrow. When we talk about confidence, be confident to ask for what belongs to you. Because the English say, let the sleeping dogs do what? So if you don't know where the lecture room is, and then you are in the car park, standing there or sitting there, who cares? So go and be confident and say, man, I'm supposed to go for fundamentals of accounting, but the timetable is saying SK1. Where is SK1? That is the confidence we are looking for. Be confident to ask for what belongs to you. I see some people taking notes, and I love that. Me, I'm a teacher, but others are recording me. I hope when I ask for a replay, you will have it, because this information is very important up to tomorrow. Thank you for recording. And for those who are writing, I applaud you. Now, there is creativity. What skill have you put in to accomplish your coursework? Or you are just there? My colleague mentioned plagiarism. You are just there to whom it may concern. And indeed, at the end of the day, the marks you will get will still rhyme to whom it may concern. So have a creative skill of being able to solve issues that come your way. If you fail a coursework, how do you improve? That is creativity. If you don't know English, you find people here at campus who don't, I hope they are not here, who don't know English. Be creative and find out how you can improve. Let me ask one simple question. Who of us has read New Vision of today? We want to admire you. Now, you don't know English, you don't even read newspapers. Basically, you are doing nothing to improve. Be creative to improve. And competence. Be competent in decision making, analytical skills. Analyze. Now, if someone tells you, I'm going to SBA, escort me, you go. You reach somewhere, someone tells you, escort me to School of Social Sciences, you go. As you reach somewhere, they tell you, escort me to the School of Science. Sure. Are you confident enough to take a decision and say, by the way, what am I doing? Because at the end of the day, you start saying, I'm too tired. Then we shall ask you, what have you done? Hey, man, I've been roaming around. You've lost the confidence of taking a decision for your personal time. Don't waste a minute. You are at campus. And we have character. My friend, be yourself. Have a good character that will attract people around you. Because if you have a lousy character, for that matter, very many people run away from you. So character is very, very important. Take those forces as very, very critical. I believe you have heard them over and over. So in this case, we are saying that the 4 C's will help you not to let down anybody. The deans are expecting a lot from you. Fellow students are expecting a lot from you. Lecturers are expecting a lot. Leave alone mommy and dad, leave alone the village people, the whole country. There are so many MPs here, ambassadors, international diplomacy, diplomats here. There are so many tourist guides. You are all seated in here. So don't let us down by forgetting the 4 C's. Now, attending lectures. This one is a must. You have no choice because the university's policy is 70% of attendance, and every single lecture will register. I will not say much you've already heard. You've heard about the courseworks and what have you. On the issue of discipline, please. I've seen so many people who have turned the tuition into capital. Do you understand that? Let tuition be tuition, and if you're a business person, let capital be capital. Differentiate the two. This business of you're going to look for some business using school fees, that is deadly, and that is lack of discipline. So be disciplined in the way you handle whatever you have to handle. You have the responsibility to find the information. Ask when do we hand in coursework? Ask when do we go for tourism field work? Ask when do I write my reports? Ask, so get information. There is a danger of getting information from the wrong people. You want to change a course unit, a course like my colleague was saying, and then you ask a driver because you come from the same village. There are structures in the university. Get to know where to find the information. And please, don't give your heart away for wrong reasons. Nobody should manipulate and disorganize your heart. You know what I mean, because you are above 18. I heard when they asked for someone below 16, nobody raised up their hand. And you too, don't disorganize somebody's heart. Be stable on whatever you are doing. Some candidate was saying, secure your future. So you are here to secure your future. Academically, I'm not in the other circle. My mom used to tell me when I go to school, she would always say, a crate has 24 bottles, and each bottle sits on its own bottom. So some of you are coming from those very posh backgrounds, and you think you sit on the bottom of your dad. You have to sit on your own bottom. Therefore, account for every single minute you are at the university. We welcome you so much. We look forward to continue interactions. I owe you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Madam Robina from School of Business and Information Technology. Second round of applause for her, please. As we say, thank you so much, Madam Robina. I would like to put a few things to the members. Madam Robina said so many people have hopes in us. Even the guild, His Excellency wrote me a message saying I should tell you that he has a lot of hopes in you and you should not disappoint. Madam Robina said something to do with tuition turning into capital. We have seen students who are deceived. They put their money into something else. I normally call it gambling. And after they run to the guild, my money, my tuition was stolen. When you start to investigate, you actually discover there was a mutual agreement signed that they're going to do a business. They're partnering with somebody else, but the person decides to run away with money. The office of the guild does not have money for people who are not serious, who cannot differentiate tuition from capital. If you're going to do that, just know you're doing it on your own, and there's no one who's going to be responsible for that. We are all above 18, and we should know what we want for ourselves by now. For those who were not here yesterday, dear deans, I was trying to tell the students who were here, the new students who were here yesterday, and you mentioned something to do with the family, and we should laugh. I do not think if there's anybody here who hates his or her family. I was giving a scenario of a network business, and I looked at a network business operating and working in the way a chain operates. The chain is together. You can never separate unless you want it not to work the way you want. I mean, they work like social insects. If we would accept that we are a family of Nkumba University and we work towards helping each and everyone to achieve something tomorrow, then I don't think if there will be any need for us to put those heavy padlocks at our doors tomorrow. Because I don't think the reason as to why we do that is because we fear wild animals from the bush. I fear you. That's why I cannot move freely with my bag on the streets of Kampala. But if we work as a family and we ensure everybody is successful, then trust me, we shall have no reason to worry ourselves. Thank you very much. Sorry, Madam Robina. Ladies and gentlemen, and now we welcome yet another great person in Nkumba University, the Dean of CIAD, School of Commercial Arts and Design. For those of us who want to be those beautiful designers and what have you, we have the gentleman right here. Allow me to welcome him to have a word to us. Thank you very much. Dean, you're welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. I welcome you all to Nkumba. And obviously, I thank you for choosing Nkumba. Uganda has about or slightly over 50 degree awarding institutions. You hear that? 50 degree awarding. Some are full-fledged universities, others are not. But yes, they do award degrees. Now, the fact that you've chosen to come to Nkumba, every one of you knows why. But my opinion is that I think you chose Nkumba because you want to go to a university that can give you a foundation for a good and productive life. That is what I think. If you came for other reasons, well, I don't know, but I hope they are positive. I'll try to be a bit fast. One, CIAD. I don't know whether we have any student here who is doing art, any program in art, I don't know. But even if we don't have any, there is a phenomenon at the university which is really funny. People don't want, like I think someone mentioned it, people don't want to get information. People don't want to get exposure. Someone comes, admitted to study in some program. Nkumba campus here is not very big, but you can imagine someone completes the 3 or 2 years or 1 year without stepping at the School of Law or stepping at CIAD to see what happens there. You are just from your hostel or home to your school, then back. Yeah? That kind of routine. It's not helpful at all. I always say that in this world, the issue of networking is very, very critical. Networking, and I'll give you my small experience when I just completed. When I completed my bachelor's degree, I formed, not alone, we formed a company. We were so novice, but we had the idea. But we formed a company to do art. Now, Soon we realized that as artists, we couldn't go far in our intentions. We needed people in marketing. You get it? People who go around companies and so on to search for jobs and contracts for us to do. So we co-opted by then he was there to get us business from companies. That was the hub of business, and he did that. Along the way, we started to decorate, wedding decoration. When we started, one of our colleagues said, you know what, this is our period in the mid-20s and early 30s. Our colleagues were now starting to get married and to marry. So she said, these will be our clients, first clients. You note that? So if you come here, you've come to do education, and you don't think about networking with a lawyer, networking with an artist, networking with, it will be a huge mistake, because you create your business, of a salon, of a school, you need an artist to do the design work, the advertising, and so on. You need someone to do your website. As a lawyer, you may not do that. So take note of that. CR is at the extreme end down there, and we do a lot of very good things. Of course, when often they say, the lay people, the moment you say, I'm doing art, normally the first question is, can you draw me? That is the perception. Eh? That is the perception of our people there, that an artist must be able to draw. It's not always that. Some artists actually cannot draw. You can't believe it. The drawing, you know, that I stand here, or you get a picture and you create the likeness. Many artists, most artists can't do that, because we have different abilities as artists. But down there we have 7 programs. Some require a lot of drawing, others don't. We have fashion, we have graphic communication design, the one I was talking about, where you advertise for the client. We have commercial arts, where you can do the drawing and so on. We have other programs at diploma level, interior design, vocational art. All those are there. Now, the key issue is, in the discipline of art, the moment you complete, in the field, people will not actually ask you for your papers. That is a fact. The moment you go out, there are some jobs and whatever where they will say, okay, put your papers here, and we see. But employers are increasingly giving less attention to papers. Because as I told you, my first remark was over 50 awarding institutions. So you are competing with graduates from all the other over 50. And employers now do a lot of elimination process. I was talking to a lady one time. She used to work with the Public Service Commission. She said, you know, these days we do elimination process. You advertise a job, you need only 3 people, 1,000 people come. Now, when they come, you've asked for their degree. Okay. Now, among the 1,000, 400 maybe have upper second and above. And some of these, maybe within a space of 2 years. 400 maybe. So you put the things there. Now you say, okay, all these have qualifications. How do we eliminate? Can you imagine? How do we eliminate? Say now, we shall, on the interview, maybe you shortlist, but you say, come with your HSC, USCE, USC, and possibly PLE. So they look at that, say, now anybody who does not have this number of points, we shall just eliminate at HS. Whoever does not have this at O level, we shall eliminate. But all of you initially you did what? You qualified, you are qualified. So art, the beauty with art is that you don't get subjected to that kind of competition. Once you leave school like this, out there, people want your level of professionalism. The moment, can you design? Yes. Do not ask the class of degree or diploma that you got. So while you are still here, utilize us. Utilize us to be the best. Okay? Utilize us to be the best. That is one. Two, network. Because I've already mentioned networks are critical, especially when you are starting. The person in the school of law will be your first reference, will be your first client. Number two, I don't know whether people have talked about this. It's not necessarily connected with the program in art. There are a lot of conmen around. We call them buffet and so on. And these conmen are really smart. Their tactics keep on increasing every other day. At one time, there was a student. She was in my school. She came to me. It was examination time. She came crying, said, now, I don't know what to do. They've stolen my money. I said, how? Said, well, I was in the bank. She entered with her tuition in the bank. And then a certain gentleman came and asked her some kind of direction. She explained it was a place around the right alley. Said, no, said, I failed to understand. They moved out together. She showed the gentleman the place, then came back to the bank. And in that instant, she had lost her money. So she said, I don't know how. So there are a lot of conmen. They'll try so many tricks on your phone. Be careful the way you share your numbers as you network. Conmen also like those gadgets a lot, telephones, laptops, whatever. They like them so much. I had a daughter at one time here studying law. One day she came to the office crying, my tablet has been taken. I asked her how. But I met some very smartly dressed people. There was a lady and they were really old. They engaged me in a conversation and they ended up taking my. So be careful about that. Third, I know my colleague, one of my colleagues had mentioned the issue of character. Nkumba, you people who are here, for us in my culture, someone who knows English and Uganda will maybe help. We say that nanyini chigwa ya chiwebu. A chigwa can be yourself as an individual. It can be your home. It can be your family. It can be your culture. It can be your nation. It can be your university. It can, a chigwa is like that. Now, okwebula is to do what? Someone says expose it negatively. We can go by that. The issue of character. While you demand, I heard my colleague here, while you demand for what belongs to know or to have, what belongs to you, do this in a very civil manner. It matters a lot and it takes nothing away from you. The unfortunate bit is that right now, in the country, there is a lot of energy in when we use a lot of energy when we want to demand. Excuse me. When we want to demand, we use a lot of energy. And that is not good. It's okay. Of course, most of you are youth, you have a lot of energy. I have followed news, I like to follow international news, and there's a very big wave of people who are demanding for ABCD politics or what. And compare notes and say, oh my God, different cultures. These days, there is a strong wave in a country called Myanmar, I think. The military somehow took over government and the nation has refused. They go out on the street every day, they protest. Every day. But even the military has come out. But the deaths are still limited. They're about 2. When you compare that to our situation in Uganda, it's different. When we want to demand, actually, right from secondary school level, you hear strikes in secondary schools, and you wonder, teenagers striking, they strike, they ban, and it has never happened even here at Gomba. My point is, when it happens, the media somehow has a love for negative kind of information. It's what creates information news for them. Okay? And the media, unfortunately, does not stop only here, it goes international. And there is an instance. Gomba has it has a program where it networks and collaborates with institutions outside Uganda, academic institutions. And there are a number of programs which I'm going to outline here for you. We have a program called, we are on a program called Erasmus Plus. You can always search for it when you want. Erasmus Plus. Now, Erasmus Plus is a program sponsored by the European Union. When universities get on board, they have the opportunity to exchange students, at least for a semester. Students from Gomba. At the moment, we are working with one university in Austria. So we send students there, few in number, but we do. They go there, they study for a full semester, and they come back. Sometimes they also send us students. One time, when our students had gone, I think that was in 2018, they were asked to make a presentation about their home and their university. And those white people are relatively smart. So the student made a presentation, very good, about Gomba, and question time came. So one student put up, say, okay, why did you riot in 2016? this student was not even at home. Because the moment they started to present, the students went on the internet and they saw strike at Nkumba. You see, so our character, our discipline, you are the owners of, you're part of this chief group called Nkumba. The moment you present it negatively in the world, the day you complete to go to work, it will go with you. Wherever you go, it will go with you, believe me. And I have told you the elimination process. People will look for every other reason to eliminate you. But these people, this university, they rate a lot, no discipline, no character. You know, so that is a point I wanted to bring out. There's another program which is meant now. The one for Erasmus Plus currently involves the School of Art, the School of Science, and the School of SPA. Those are the schools that can send and receive students. There is one which is new. We are in the process, and that one will be a little bit bigger. Even for me, the name has gone. But it is meant to work with the School of Science, students who are doing agriculture. Now, there is a program, it is coordinated by a certain Dr. Makerere, which is meant to take students to the Netherlands who are doing agriculture, agribusiness. Okay, so Nkumba is getting on board. Once we are there, that will be another opportunity. There is another one which is supposed to be with the School of Social Science and Education. But that one, the challenge is, if anybody is interested, you must actually foot the bill. Okay, so far that is where the challenge is. I have already received the notice of expression, people who are willing to go, but you must be in position to foot the bill. The issue, I think, is about footing the bill to travel and possible accommodation. I'm not so sure, but learning is on the other people. So once you don't present yourself as stakeholders of a chief group, you will destroy the image of the university. Lastly, I'm going back to art. In art, because for us, we look for competence. The way we evaluate, we assess, differs a bit from the other schools. For us, in art, coursework carries 60%. And this is what it means. You can play around and you appear to do an exam. And in the exam, you actually score 40 out of 40, you still have failed. You understand? Because the pass mark is 50. So, you rather work so hard during the assessment learning process here, and if things go wrong, you don't perform so well in an exam. That is much better. Other than, because you can imagine, if coursework is 30 and the exam is 70, I can play around during the course and then come and strike my 60 in an exam and my 10 in coursework. For us, it is different. We look for competence, and competence is built on a daily basis. So that is very, very critical. And I always tell students that on the first day, the moment they enter my class, I tell them always, you have entered and you have 100 marks. The moment you sit like this in my lecture, you have 100 marks. You don't attend, you don't do the coursework, you don't do what? I continue subtracting until the time of the exam. I give you what you desire to remain with. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dean of SIAD. Another round of applause. Letting us know that art is not only about drawing. I hated art because of that. I thought for me to do art, I needed to draw something. And I was asking myself, then how do I add a living from drawing a fellow human being? But when I got to home, I discovered art is very, very broad. Students of SIAD, very welcome. You have a wonderful gentleman, and the school is very beautiful. I wanted us to have a very small evangelism, but the next communicator has another meeting. So I want us to request you to have this presentation before you ask for another meeting. Then we shall have the energizer. For those who have questions to the deans, please get them ready shortly after. We shall allow 2-3 questions so that the deans can respond before they leave us. Mr. Representative, you're very welcome to take us through the e-learning process.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Okay. I think I can use my voice. Can you hear me? Good. Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name, as it's been mentioned, my name is Revuze Joseph Chisache. And I want to take you through basically 2 parts. The first part, I've called it blended learning. And then the second part will be the etiquette, or what we're expected to do for us when we are actually either in class physically, or especially when we are online. So allow me to take you through these 2 parts. And then probably at the end of my session, we can have a general Q&A session and see how we can actually move ahead. There is a very good writer. He said the critical success factor in successful and effective teaching and learning is the skill of the teacher in creating environments that combine the learner's support on and offline activities, resources, and ideas to stimulate peer-to-peer collaboration and communication. So our interest this afternoon, that is today onwards, is to introduce what we refer to as blended mode of learning. So the question is, what is blended mode of learning? It's nothing other than a combination of our traditional means of communication or traditional means of teaching, and that is being in class, like we are right now, but also using technology to help us drive a point home. A vivid example I can give right now is that we are using a projector and a laptop to deliver a presentation. But the assumption is before I actually come to class, you must have received this content before for you to be able to go through, such that when we're in class, it's more of a discussion than a secondary kind of teaching. So we are expecting you that when you're in this 21st century, the image is not very good. There are a number of things that we need to look at, that we need to embrace. One, what is expected in the 21st century class? We expect that we shall have a combination of a physical class, like we are doing in this later section where we are, but at the same time, we shall have some other people at some moment being able to study online
using resources, that is your phones, your tabs, your laptops, and so on. Or you can actually go to the library or computer lab and be able to access this information or this learning content at your own time. But the question is, what is e-learning? So what we want to do, I want to unpack this word e-learning for us to know what do we mean by e-learning. We want to give it a new and wider definition for us to be able to appreciate why we say e-learning. So when you say e-learning, on top of e-learning, the question would be there. So you would ask yourself, what is it? One, it's an option which we use to engage. There is a lot of engagement between you, the student, and your lecturers. Two, there is an activity of, how do you read that? E-N-T-H-U-S-E, how do you pronounce that? Okay, can someone tell us what it means? It is an expression where you express your eagerness, your enjoyment, your interest, and your approval in regard to something. So we are using the same platform to be able to express and also be able to express your happiness, your enjoyment, while at the same time, you're actually learning. You can do exchange, you can exchange. In terms, when we talk of exchanging, we exchange information, we exchange ideas, we do discussions. Those are all forms of exchange. We exchange materials such that we're able to learn and be able to fit within the 21st century and beyond. It also enriches you. The fact that you're able to, you're eager and you're receptive, you're being engaged, okay? At the same time, that means you're also enriching your personal, in terms of knowledge acquisition, you're getting enriched. It enhances your capability because we don't only enrich, but because we do share information from point A to point B and back, and that is from A to B and then vice versa. So there is a very big important item that we are calling enhancing your learning. It extends your learning from a physical classroom to wherever you will be. Whether you are on the move or not, whether you are home or at school, regardless of your location, it will extend your learning capability. It will empower you. Because while we are here, we promote and we encourage a lot of discussions, peer-to-peer kind of discussions. By doing this, we are letting you, we are empowering you to be able to sustain discussions. And the first speaker we had, that is Dr. Anne. She said, the parliamentarians you meet out there, the police officers who don't beat people, the airmen who don't come from this particular place. So we are empowering them to be able to go out there and be useful people. It also embeds technology, it embeds the traditional classroom we've had before for us to be able to learn. And lastly, it should be, and it is always entertaining. You should never be bored if you are having a very mode of learning. The number of benefits we can talk about, but one, why do we go greater? Because it increases your participation into your learning environment is very much key. Then two, it is very flexible. And three, by doing, increasing your learning capability, flexibility, at the end of the day, you enjoy your learning. So, friends, with the increasing variety of approaches to learning, it is in the information age, the learners' preferences are changing from wanting to be taught mostly in lectures or direct training sessions to wanting increased flexibility. You want to be able to learn from anywhere, wherever you are at any moment in time. You want to be able to research such that even when you come to class, you can have a discussion with your lecturer such that you're able to enrich each other. So, why do we have flexibility in learning? Because you can learn from anywhere. There is a lady, it's not very clear because of the light, but somewhere here, you see that this lady is on her smartphone. Sorry. Then down here, we have people in the computer lab, they are learning. And all these accessing the same platform at the same time, regardless of their location. Can we as in Kumba University provide such kind of learning accessibility that you actually want? The answer is yes. And how do we do it? One, we must let you know that there is no single learning delivery method that is capable of supporting this kind of accessibility that you actually need. What do? We actually use what we refer to as the blended mode, which is a mix of traditional and new learning approaches of technology to appropriately utilize and make learning very flexible. So this is why we are here this afternoon. So blending various learning strategies and approaches for flexibility should be able to increase our learning capabilities, and our learning should be more interesting than it has ever been before. We mean that as we intend to go into this kind of learning, we shall have what we call synchronous classrooms, where we have physical, rather we have classes taking place live. We can have synchronous still live when they are in an online format. The first setup is through a classroom, like where we are right now. The second bit is through an online platform, because remember, we are coming back in a staggered mode. 2-3 days we will be at the university. The other part of the time we shall be either in our hostels or wherever we come from. Wherever we shall be, we should be able to engage ourselves either through Zoom or through the big blue button, as you'll be able to see later on. Then there is an asynchronous piece. It is not live, but it is more of a self-paced format kind of learning, where you devote time to your revision using the technologies that we have in place as a university. So as we move ahead, we want you to embrace this and also ask whenever you feel you have challenges. So I've been able to explain what we mean by synchronous. There is face-to-face kind of teaching. There is coaching and mentoring. There is classroom setup or classroom lectures going on. There are workshops, there are conferences, there are meetings, labs. These are all done physically in the physical environment. In terms of online, if you are going in, then you'll be able to do internet conferencing. You can do audio conferencing. You can use live video or satellite conferencing. You can do virtual online classrooms. We've been doing this since the time of COVID. So it's not news, and we'll keep doing it to make sure that out there in the 21st century and fitting into Kagwa's message, we're actually able to communicate the message out there that yes, in Kumba, we can, and yes, we can. So there's also instant messaging online. The way you do it under your chats is the way we do it. Your WhatsApp is the way we do it on the e-learning. The asynchronous bit is not only limited to online self-paced learning, but it also that's all email or discussion forums, like the phone support system and so on. There are also other options that you can actually have under the asynchronous components of learning. So, we have advantages of blended learning. You'll be able to go through them. I'll not go through them, all of them. But what I can say is that one, we have savings in terms of time, in terms of costs. To you as individuals and students, there is a little bit of saving. Two, it allows participation. You'll agree with me that in this room, there are those who will fail to ask a single question once we are in this room. But the moment you create WhatsApp groups, someone will be able to ask questions when you're on WhatsApp groups. So we are saying that the same kind of learning should be able to empower us, that those who are not able to actively participate when we are face to face, some of us are shy. I am shy too. When we are online, people will be able to participate. That's where you see participation being appearing somewhere. You can have the visuals. That means with the live classes and so on. Now, that is the first bit I wanted us to go through. The other bit I want us to go through is that assuming we are going in, what is expected of us? If at a moment in time you've been asked to go in, what should you do? Dean has been explaining something and said there's a lot of overfilling around. They will refer you from day one to day last. I have a sister who is a victim. I gave her tuition. She came back crying that money has been stolen. How? She gave me a very funny story. So we don't want to be victims. And once we go free, that means some of these things are likely to happen. So what do we expect in terms of etiquette once we are in or we are online? 2, you need to prepare for this class. That means you need to gather whatever you need. If you're using a laptop, a computer, a desktop, or a phone, please collect these things, put them somewhere, be available, make sure you have connectivity. And that connectivity should be very good. If you stay in a hard-to-reach area and network is very poor, look for a best spot within your environment to make sure you attend the class. 2, dress appropriately. You're not seeing this either guy or a gentleman, but is dressed in pajamas. You never know what may happen. You could be online and some accidentally, your camera comes on and they see you after naked. You will hate your life. You will hate yourself. You hate yourself. So make sure that once you're there, this is a magical way of studying remotely, where you feel you're very free. You can be anywhere in your house, in your hostel room, in your bedroom, and you can do anything. But mind the dress code once when you're there. Do not abuse this right by dressing unprofessionally and accord your lecturer and fellow classmates the same respect as you would have been in a physical environment. This is clutter. So make sure that as you attend this online class, your environment is very much conducive in terms of your background. If, for example, we had so many clothes, assuming this, I was in my room, and at the back of my back here, you had my towel, my suit, my night dress, and so on. How would you feel? The question would have, the communication within the room, the virtual room would be, this guy is too dirty, this guy is too untidy. I even wonder, how does his wife look like? No? So by having all that, the attention is running away from what you're supposed to be discussing in class to me as an individual. So as you attend these online classes, these virtual classes, make sure you don't stay in a noisy place. Look for a quiet place. You stay away from areas that are full of distractions, like babies crying, dogs barking, and so on. A messy room, please avoid such places. Look for a place that has very good lighting for you to be able to. If you've been given a chance to speak, it is advisable not to shout, but to be moderate, communicate moderately, such that your fellow colleagues or your colleagues who are online are able to listen attentively and you're able to communicate the message. If you are not speaking, mute your microphone. I was speaking to a lady yesterday in the evening. She's a Rotarian. She told me that she doesn't actually, she felt very bad at some point when in one of the meetings they had, one of the people who was in the meeting was abusing the maid very, very bad. And she felt she was actually, there's a term she used, but it was not very good. So assuming we have a meeting of around 80 people, and these are your classmates, you go to meet the following days. You have not muted your microphone, and you're speaking your dirty language. How will you present yourself before the same people the following day in class? So it's a little bit challenging. If you're speaking, don't shout. We said speak moderately. Always test your audio, the audio settings of your device. These technologies allow us to have audio set the moment we get online. So test your audio to make sure that it is properly set up to allow you to communicate. Keep it professional. Once you're online, okay? Dean mentioned and said that Someone was making a presentation somewhere. And as the presentation was happening, they was seriously googling down to find out where it comes from. And you had the question that you asked. Once you're online, you're having what we call a digital print. And this digital print, you do not have control over. Someone else is recording this. Okay? And if they are recording this, how are you going to erase such a recording? Where are you flirting with your colleagues? Where you speak to your colleagues, having sexual kind of conversations in class. And if such a recording is shared out there, what will you do? Physically, I will have what we call stalking. What is stalking? Stalking? Sorry? Stalking is keeping something, okay? One. If someone said he's stalking here, what does it mean? Please speak up, feel free. Feel free. Yes. The one looking at me, yes. The one looking the other side, yes. Tell us. Okay, now that is stalking. Thank you. Now there is also what we call cyber stalking. If you keep stalking your colleagues in a cyberspace, it is a crime, and the laws of Uganda will get you, will catch you. Okay? So if you're not very careful, you may end up in court. We don't want you as a student to be a culprit. So discussing politics in non-political classes, please avoid. You are NRM, I am NUP. Okay? If you're in class, we are in class for class. If it's a political class, we are in group. If it's a business class, my brother, my sister. Leave your NUP discussions out of class. Once we are done in class, then we shall have such a discussion. Okay. Being tribalistic and racist, it's not good. Shouting at your colleagues is not desirable. If it were you being shouted at, how would you feel? Yeah? So these are all they're all available in our cyber harassment laws, and once we are not very careful, you fall a victim. Sensitive information must be protected. If you've been given a chance and an option to share a screen within your class, make sure you only share what is supposed to be shared. Okay? One time I went somewhere with him, to buy some phones, and we were testing the speed of internet in the place where we went. The first thing we looked at when we were asking to test the internet, Red gave us a phone number to check, to test the speed. The first thing we found on the screen was pornography. And when you find pornography, then you know what she accessed. So if you are accessing something, you are sharing something from your screen, mind what you're going to share. Before you start sharing, first open whatever you want to share. Otherwise, you do not want to see the other crowd. Some of you could be having sensitive information where it is. Others could be having things that are just mentioned. That is not good for us. Okay? Let us always mind what we share from our friends. Okay? And our devices, which shall be used. Now, when you finish accessing a class, okay, make sure you log off. If you don't log off, you might be a victim like this gentleman. This is the CEO who was in the meeting, but you can check, he was halfway dressed in pants, and after the meeting, he went into his pants and said, "Hey, this." Okay? Meanwhile, the colleagues are busy watching.
What's up?
Johnny, I can see you.
Now the gentleman runs through the trailer to hide himself. So imagine it was you. How would you feel? So let's make sure you lock off your device when the class is done. Then, in addition to that, if you're not using the camera, make sure it is switched off. Okay? Make sure the camera is also switched off. I think this was the South Sudan ambassador, okay, who was in a meeting and said to go to the rules, WC, where Canada. He forgot that he had his video on. He went to facial school. Whatever he did there, the camera was captured. So imagine it is you. Always mind the cameras you use when you are open. And lastly, as in Kumba, our obligation or the obligation of the lecturers, one, is provide a real-time feedback when we are teaching you. Two, is to incorporate the old and the new technology to make sure we deliver the best learning for your current learning and your future learning. Three, we are supposed to lay a foundation, okay, for this lifelong learning, because you're not stopping to learn today. Learning is a continuous process. We want to let you have a foundation that you can build on from now till God calls you back to yourself. Three, we want to provide a learning or obligation to provide, encourage collaborative learning environment, where you as students can actually communicate to us, give us reviews, okay, participate in surveys at the end of the semester to make sure we improve the learning or to improve your learning, the betterment of our environment. Then lastly, we want to use and that is use all available technology to make sure we deliver this learning to you. Thank you very much, and thank you for listening. Tomorrow, we'll be looking at the physical or the practical way, or practical bit, for us to open up e-learning accounts and make sure we engage. Lastly, probably before I leave, the e-learning uses so much the library. The library is here, okay? So please make sure you use the library, both the physical library and the e-library. We have everything in place. We are very well equipped to make sure that we deliver the best. Thank you very much, and over to you.
Thank you very much, Joseph, for taking us through the e-learning process. I would request Mr. Lebuse that maybe the new students keep the questions for tomorrow because we're already running out of time. If you have those questions, please note them down. We shall ask them tomorrow. And then also, you don't forget, if you have the questions for the teams who have communicated to us, please keep them noted. Tomorrow we have a session of 2 around campus. We shall show you these respective schools, the respective offices, and thereafter you can have the one-on-one interaction with the team of your school. Allow me to welcome and recognize the presence of our university librarian. Madam, you're very welcome and thank you for coming. I wanted us to have a very small energizer. Maybe we could just stand up and stretch a little bit because we have only 2 communicators, then we end today's program. Can we stand up and stretch a little bit without moving anywhere? Just remain. We can breathe in, out. We are not compliant. I don't know why. Character. Can we breathe in, out, in, out, on assumption that everybody has. Thank you. Can you please take about 6? Allow me to welcome the gentleman from the finance department to take us through his policy at the university. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Welcome. Students, you are most welcome to Kumba University. Basically, I think you've done economics at HSC. There's actually in economics where we say education. You come to invest. And when you invest, you expect some returns. And you cannot get those returns when you have not put some capital. In this case, I mean, you must actually invest some money in education. What I'm going to talk about the fee structure in Kumba University. I'm very sure everyone has obtained the admission letter, which actually entails how much you are supposed to pay per semester and other subsequent semesters. How you can ask me a question. Yes, I've known how much I'm supposed to pay, but how do I pay that money? At this university, we don't use actual bank slips. Students have their portals. You should know how to manage your portals. That's why the current, the previous speaker said, you are not supposed to call those economy actually take your money. If you know how to use your portal, there's no way a conman can come in and take your money. How? For starters, every student must have his or our student portal. How do you go to your student portal? I understand everyone knows how to use it. Mr. Google, sir. You know Mr. Google, sir? If you don't know Mr. Google, sir, you go to your Google, you go to Mr. Google, you type student. I think you cannot download what I'm telling you. Student dot Kumba University, just one word, dot Kumba University dot sc dot uk. Student dot Kumba University, one word, Kumba University is one word, dot sc dot uk. So it will take you to that platform. It will take you to the platform where you're supposed to put your student number. Student number, that number which appears on your admission, that is a unique number. Wherever you go, whether admission, your school, they always ask you your student number. That is the number which has all your information. When someone logs in using your student number, we actually capture all your information, or obtain all your information about you. So when you reach there, you type your student number for starters. Student number, then the password. The password is used student number throughout. So you have an example of a student who can use them. A new student, anyone with a new admission letter here, so that I can elaborate and understand it. Anyone with an admission letter here, oh, bring it here and see. So, are you that part of them? So you go to Mr. Google, sir. Open the portal. You can. No, this one is not, check properly. Something wrong. Maybe you must have. Gentlemen, lady, sorry, I was going to say gentleman. Daphne, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever used this program before? It's as if you have never used, that's why it's asking us the password. It is, you are not really any payment. That is, so, which means you have your own password, which I cannot actually access. You know your password. I just need someone who has not actually made any payment, but you can give it afresh. Because it's as if you have your own password already.
Well, I tried to apply online once, but ever since I got graduation, I haven't not been.
You have not made any payment.
Not paid.
Yes, the password must be there. If you made some payment, come again. I guess when someone who has never made payments, the new student, yes, you know your password. That's why it's asking us to put the password. Okay.
Anybody who has not paid? Come.
Okay. Yes. Now, it is a movement now. For starters, when you put your student number and the password as your student number, it will take you to this step. You see, in that step, you type only your surname. Your surname is your traditional name. I name yes. So when you type Akayijuka or another name, it will actually ask you to confirm, are you the real person? Then you say yes. So it will actually ask you more questions. Because you are supposed to, since you are initiating this account for the first time, the system will tell you, it will actually send the information to your telephone. So in that case, if you have your telephone or your email, you can choose the best one. In this case, you can use your telephone number. Give us your telephone number. So you can leave 7 out. Leave 7. I mean 0 out. Then you can proceed. So, your phone, there is some information on your phone. I think you are following the procedure. You can either choose your telephone number or your email. In this case, we have chosen one, our telephone number, and we are going to receive, she's going to receive a message. So the message is FEC932. So we can proceed to verify. So after verifying, it tells you to proceed again. Now it goes back because at that place you are at liberty to change even the password. Because at the beginning we used this student number for at that stage you are at liberty to change your password. In this case, you can type your student number because you know it. Or you can even choose your student number as your password if you cannot forget that. So in this case, you can use your student number as a password throughout. So we continue. Then you log in using the student number. Then you confirm those parameters. You confirm is, are you doing that course? Are you the first year? Are you Uganda? You just keep those, you just have those corresponding things. Then you submit. So after reaching there, it means now you have sent yourself to the system. It tells you, because all the students must enroll at the beginning of the semester. In this case, it's a new student. She's going to enroll for year one, semester one. It is done once in the semester. So next semester, she'll log in using her password. Because now she knows her password. Madam, I think you know her password now. You log in and enroll year one semester for the next semester. You log in and enroll for year one semester two. You just do it once in the semester. When you join the semester, you enroll. You are initial, you are tuition. You are supposed to pay for that semester. Now we are going to enroll because you are in year one semester one. So enroll. So it's a new student, which year one, then you can enroll. So now, I think nowadays, okay, the invoices at hand. The tuition was supposed to pay per semester, I mean for that particular semester. It has two components, the tuition and the functional fee. Functional fee is 400, 57,500. Tuition is 661,100. You don't need to program it, you just go to the system and just do it once in the semester. Then you start making payments. Then you can ask him, how do I make payments? When you look in the corner, you can see, generate a reference number. That is the number you want to take to the bank to make payment. You don't need to put a bank slip. I get it. You can create as many reference numbers as possible. But the most important one is the one represent the bank. I get it. And each reference number represents a specific payment you have chosen. Like if you want to pay 1 million, you create a reference number for 1 million. Don't mention the one is, I want to pay 600. That reference number is invalid. It's wrong. Because you generated a reference number for that particular payment of 1 million. If you want to pay 600, you need to make another reference number. Which is very simple, just need to know a smartphone. If you wish to the one, I don't have 1 million, but now what I have is 400. And when I was reading the numbers, I get a reference number of 1 million. So I need to make another reference number. The most important one is when you give to the one the payer. That will be acknowledged. I think I'm familiar with that. So don't feel free anytime you can wait to many reference numbers as possible. But the most important one is what we get to the bank. Just log in and request reference number. Log in and request reference number. So you are going to get reference numbers. Get a reference number. So there are 3 options there. One says, I would like to pay all pending invoices. What does it mean? It means you have enough money for functional fee and tuition. If you click on that button, if you are not actually in a position to pay functional fee and tuition, let's say you have 400,000, and the options are there, which means you qualify for either the second option and the third one, because you cannot pay fully. Are you getting me? So, if you have 400, but because you 400 in the bank, you can click in the middle button where it says, I want to deposit part of my tuition. You see that? When you click there, it outlines the invoices for tuition and the functional fee. But you can say a portion, your money in your interest. You can say at the beginning we pay you one functional fee or tuition. So if you want to pay functional fee, you click There's actually adjusting what the function of fee. You type the amount you have. Assuming you have 200,000, we are typing 200,000. So we are going to create a reference number for 200,000. Then generate. The system will give you a number you want to take to the bank. So that is the number. It is green. This 77 something, blah, 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 for 200,000, for 200,000. So that's the number that you are supposed to take to the bank. You give it to the patient number. It is equivalent to how much? 200,000. You can't exceed that. Because you have commanded the system has told you are going to pay 200,000. So when you reach at the counter, you only give them that number and amount. I think I'm clear with that. So we need to talk about the third option. We go back. Yes. We can go back and generate the third option where it tells you, would you like to deposit money? In this case, you are not very sure how to apportion the one money. Either functional or tuition, what should I do? Let me just deposit my account. So that when I go to finance, they can help me to allocate that money. The functional fee or tuition. Am I clear there? Another time we can go back again, where we say we have to deposit. No, go back. Middle here. Yes. You would like to deposit your money partial. You don't have full cushion you don't have full functionality and cushion. So you want to allocate that money. Assuming you want to allocate 1 million. You want 1 million. But 1 million is above 457,500. And also about 661,100. So you can choose to allocate. You can begin with functional fee. I advise always to begin with functional fee simply because in case we have to make some adjustments. For example, we have some students who have bursaries. They get bursaries from Cuba University. It is very easier for us to make adjustment on tuition because it's just one line item. Function has many components. We have build, we have ID, we have examination. That's actually what we call functional fee. So, but when you are allocating money and expect to reduce one function for bursary, it's better to begin with the functional fee. In this case, we are talking about 1 million. We are going to apportion about 1 million. We can begin with the functional fee. So, find that at 457, 500. What is the balance remaining to make 1 million? Are you getting me? Because you have 1 million deposit in the bank, you are portioning that money against function fee and tuition. So we are beginning with the function fee. What is the minimum for us to make 1 million? If you never did some months, come again. 542. So 542 can go to tuition so that you have your 1 million full. Are you getting me? So now if we add it there, you can have a total of 1 million. Okay, yes. No, there's some related balance. The next 1 million. 500. So 500 should be there. So you can even check yourself before you generate a balance number. Is that the right amount? Yes, you can see that that's the right amount. Then you can generate a reference number. So that is the number you are supposed to take to the bank. If you lose that number, you can go back to the system and make another one. Okay? So that's what we call student portal. I don't want you to line up for finance. I want the reference numbers. No. For starters, they can help you get the app to create your portal and get your password, blah, blah. So the following steps, you don't line up to get the reference numbers. You just go to your smartphone, this tab Google search, and so on, get the reference number. Then before the procedure. I think it's very easy. You don't feel bank slips in the bank. Just go to your phone, you have a computer, go to computer room, you get the reference number, and go to the bank. After banking, you go to finance, you confirm just, or you can even, if you are stuck somewhere, I have my WhatsApp number. My WhatsApp number is 0772 91 again 47. It's all about financial issue, not other issue. You say, I have a problem with this, how can I go about this? Find another issue, because when we already know that already, we got attrition and function. But you never know. Some system gives you a amount. Be mindful. Always ask, because you should know your admission. What does my admission say? Is this the right amount? Okay. For the first time, they actually manufacture. I'll pay less. My tuition is supposed to do 1 million. And my book are wrong. 500. Then you just stand skill which I'll get to. Once you have a certain issue, you come to finance and ask, here, I've enrolled, my tuition is this. Why? I've enrolled, but my tuition is high. What are the new adjustments you have made? You see that? So that even if I'm not around tomorrow, someone else has a wrong problem, will be able to see what actually happened. So now I think you've understood that. When you want to make payment, ask your student photo as I've done for our kids. After creating that, you have to make payments. At the beginning of the semester, enroll. When you enroll, you are recognized to be a student for that semester. If you don't enroll, it means you're not a student for that semester. It is done once in the semester. What are our bankers? Well, now we have the reference numbers. Currently, our bankers are 3. We have BSC, Barclays. No, that is Abisa, former Abisa and Stanley. Those are the current bankers we have. I think you have noted that. So, again, there's something I want to talk about. There are some questions you can avoid in university. Yeah, those are avoidable courses. You have avoidable courses and unavoidable courses. There are courses you can avoid, or you can control the university, like litigation. Litigation comes into play if a student has not paid 40% after the end of the month of reporting. For instance, like now this is the new semester. It's beginning, beginning tomorrow. Next month, it will be 1 year. It will be 1 month. Like today. If that period actually reaches 1 month and have not paid, we normally do what litigation. Litigation is but if you pay 40% of your tuition and function, you cannot actually impose your administration. So I request you make payment on time. Even other persons because our former speakers mentioned those costs that this paper, those are going if you do your exams very well. Maybe at least because there are many things that may happen that you can get C, but returns here. You come here to read and avoid that cost. Because once you fail, we shall cost you for that paper. So try to minimize those costs here. So last year, talked about the economy. Economy are everywhere. But if you have your reference number from your phone, and you have your money, someone can't cheat you. Make sure that you use your reference number to deposit the money to the bank. Whenever you can, as long as you have your smartphone, you can always generate the reference number. Whether you're at Kampala, whether you are just on the internet, just this one, Mr. Google search and type student.ikumba.university.ac. It will take you to your student portal. Put your password, your student number, get reference numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's what I would like to say about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Before you leave, there is one pertinent question that has come through, and being finance, we feel that we should have a response to this. It's an error, and this comes from those who are online. And the question is, I have paid, but when enrolling, I received this error message detecting a skip between last enrollment and this one. Contact AIM's help desk for the explanation. Thank you. Over to you.
That's why I've actually given you my WhatsApp number. When you get such issues, you can always WhatsApp me. But that one implies Level is not a new student. Yeah, it depends. If it's a new student, that's the difference. But if it's an older student, it implies that this student did not actually complete tuition for the previous semester. And you cannot enroll for the next semester when you have not cleared tuition for the previous one. So there are possibilities of that student of not having paid tuition for the previous semester. So I think I've answered your question. So in the case you happen to encounter such problem, you can always WhatsApp on my number. I'm free. I just WhatsApp me. I'm so student number is. I have this message. Please help me. Don't say any words. I just only your student number, the name and the reason. Only that. I don't want to know your course. I'm being low what. So that is it.
Thank you. Probably in addition to that, I just want to mention that for the student portal, there are rules governing these passwords. If you happen not to be able to access the student portal after a year, that means you did not change your password. Annually, you should be able to change your password on the student portal to continue accessing the portal. If you don't change, you shall see many of you come here to complain that I cannot get into my portal, I can't do this, I can't do that. So to avoid this, annually, make sure you reset the password. With those few words, thank you, Vincent from Finance. I want to hand over to our speaker to usher us into the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vincent, from the Finance. I am not going to speak much. Just let us put our hands together and welcome the
very much. So I would like to welcome you all to Nkumba University and congratulate you on becoming university student. How does it feel? You feel great, don't you? It's nice to be campusers, whatever you call yourself. So congratulations. And I also want to thank you for choosing Nkumba University as your library, as your university. You won't regret it. It is a great university. We celebrated 25 years some time back. So there is a foundation. And as I said, you won't regret having joined Nkumba University. So my name is Florence Separi, and I am the university librarian. So nothing gives me more pleasure than seeing students using the library. You came to study, and study you must. Believe me, there is no way you can pass very well if you don't use the library. I've seen students 3 years here without entering the library, and you really pity such students. That's how, why did you come to the university? You came to get knowledge, and you get that knowledge from the library. So always use the library. It's there for you, a huge building with lots of knowledge. What you learn in the lecture room isn't enough. You have to supplement it. And the only way you do that is coming to the library. Okay, so the lecture room is where you go to. First thing in the morning, you go to the lecture room. That is your first stop. Then the second stop should be the library. And what do you do in the library? You access resources. Lots of them. You'll be surprised. We've got books, lots of books. We've got journals, we've got magazines, reference materials. There is a word you don't know. We've got dictionaries there as references, encyclopedias. You want to enlarge your knowledge. Everything is in the library. So don't spend time here without entering that great building. So as I said, we've got books, we've got everything. We've got them in print. And that's what most of you are used to. The physical, a book, we've got them. But we also have them on e-resources. Very, very good. Up-to-date information. Some of the books might be outdated. Maybe printed in, I don't know, 1960, 70. But e is usually up-to-date. It's up-to-date. It's authentic. The university subscribes to a number of journals. Journals you all need in all disciplines. Don't say, I cannot find information in my discipline. No way. Everything is there. So we have got the e-library. We'll come across it. Already, I'm sure you know our website, the Nkumba University website. So you go where there are services, and you're going to see library. That's why we have got everything. As I said, you come to the library to access. But this one, you can access it from wherever you are. You don't have to come to the library. You are home. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, but you feel like reading. You go to our website, the library webpage, and you are going to find all the e-journals, the e-books, the databases, lots of them you'll find there. So that is accessing resources, supplementing to what the lecturers have done, getting up-to-date information, getting more knowledge. That's why you are here. You are here to pass, and not just to pass very well. And to do that, you need to access resources. You have to do research. You're going to be given projects, You are going to write dissertations. I don't know what else. Yeah? You do this in the library. That is where it's done. And after you have compiled your information, you have, think you've got enough, you have to write a paper, write a dissertation. You can do that in the library. It's a very comfortable place, very comfortable, with a conducive environment. It's quiet. The tables are big. Yeah? You will enjoy spending time in the library. And then it doesn't have to be all books. You are tired, you are bored. Come to the library. There are newspapers. We get newspapers every day. We've got novels. Huh? I don't know how many of you are interested in novels. We've got very good novels to improve your English or Swahili or whatever language. You can even take a nap. We don't send away people who sleep in the library. Come and, take a nap because you are tired. We know. So that's what library is for. You are tired, you are bored. Oh, there is so much to see in the library. You will have fun. And as I said, you came to study, and study you must do. So don't waste a lot of time. Don't stay here for 3-4 years without entering the library. It's a shame. A university student, it's a shame. You will find us there, ready to help you. So we have a handbook. It's supposed to be online, but I'm not so sure about that. As I said, the library is very good, a very, very comfortable place, a very good place to go and take a nap, but we've got rules. We've got rules in the library. And I don't know whether it's unfortunate or not, but it's because we want to get that conducive environment for you. People need quiet places. Lecture rooms are noisy, but the library is quiet. That's why we have got rules. Okay, so this handbook tells us when the opening hours are. We don't open all the time. So in the, call it the old normal, we used to open from 9 in the morning to 10 at night. So you could read. Right, we never used to close. From 9 in the morning, that's when we open, to 10. But in the new normal, we've been, we still open at 9, but we've been closing at 5. So I don't know whether this is going to change or not. I don't know, that one I'm not so sure. But at 9, we are open, 9 in the morning. And it's from Monday to Sunday. It used to be like that. Open all the time for you to come and read. Okay, so you have to register. We shall come to that. We are going to give you cards. Each one of you is going to get library cards. Okay, and then the library is a huge building with lots of material. So you are going to wonder, how do we get the materials we need? Where do we find them? So a library is an organized institution, very, very organized. Every subject has got a number. You want a book, you want information on religion, for example. Religion is under 200. So if you look at, you are going to look at the books, we'll take you there. Each book has got a spine label, which says 200. So you know that one is religion. You want something on language, for example, that one is 400. So every book has got its number. They are all here. So as we say, 100 is philosophy and psychology, 200 religion, 300 social sciences, those of you in that department. Language is 400, 500 natural sciences and mathematics, 600 is technology, 700 the arts, those of you who are going to be in SIAD, you go there. Literature, Don't know whether you do literature or language, I don't know. That is 800. And then those of you doing geography and history, 900. So those ones doing IT, it's 004. You'll find it there. So we have got, you're going to see them, notices everywhere, telling you where to find, where to locate the material, so that you don't waste time. What we don't want in the library is for you roaming around, wasting time. You didn't come to waste time. You came to read, and you come to the library to read. So just get hold of the book you want, sit down somewhere and read. So this is how we organize our library. So the services we offer, we have reference services. Reference is when you want some encyclopedia, some dictionaries, etc. We have that. Photocopy, you don't have to move far. There are some books which you cannot borrow out of the library, but you want to photocopy. We don't refuse you. There is a photocopier somewhere there. There is internet in the library. We have got our own library internet laboratory for the library now, not one for study. So you can go there, it's free. Just enter there, get whatever you want, and you get satisfied. We have user education, like now, I'm educating you. So if there is anything you don't understand, we educate you on how to get information. Usually we don't get information for you. We educate you to get that information yourself. That is education. And you get extra skills. I know how to look for my own information. I don't have to wait for the librarian. I know how to get it. That is user education. We do it. We have got interlibrary loans. If there is a book, a magazine we don't have here, we can always get it from other universities. We work together. Nkumba is part of the consortium of Uganda University Libraries. There are about 57 libraries in the consortium. So if we don't have material here, we can get it elsewhere. That is the inter-library loan. Of course, we have got electronic resources. We are going to show you tomorrow when you come to the library. But in the meantime, you can check our website. A lot of resources, e-journals, make use of the e-books. I know you love books. You don't know much about journals because you've been in high school, but we have got e-books as well. Make use of the e-books. Not physical, but e-books. We have them. For the PhD, we have got a doctoral study area. So you are our clientele, university students. Already you have paid a library fee, just walk inside there. But of course, you must have an ID. But otherwise, feel free. Now, what else do we have? The code of conduct. Silence should be maintained at all times in the library. So you have to be considerate of others. There are people who want to read, and for you want to make noise. No, we don't allow that. And you are fined. We shall look at the fines, please. I know the modern libraries have got discussion rooms. You go to the library, you sit somewhere in a group and you discuss. We don't have many of those, but I think we can always find you a place where you can do your discussion. So it says, readers must leave all handbags, briefcases, jackets, and any other form of personal property in the package area. Once you enter the library, you'll see a lady there. If you have a bag, please leave it there. This is security. We've lost lots of books, and we don't want to lose any more. If we were careless, you wouldn't have anything to read. So we have to secure those books. You know, we secure them for other generations. That's what we do. So if you have a bag, please leave it there. And we wouldn't advise you to leave important things there, like your phones. Please don't leave your phones in the bag. If it's stolen, you only have yourself to blame. You know, move on with your with your what is it? Phone, laptop. You go with it, and you be very careful with your laptops. I think they told you already. Laptops are stolen. Even in the library, you leave it here. You just want to go for a short call. You won't find it there. Okay, we've got security down, but then they don't know whether the cell phone is yours, whether the computer is yours. They wouldn't know. So please take care of your things, even in the library. But with a bag, as we shall see, you have to pay. It's not much money, 100 shillings. And you can leave the bag there for a whole day. You can even attend lectures and you leave your bag there. It will be safe. That's what we do. So we don't allow caves. If you enter the library, please don't. The headscarves are okay for young ladies, but the caves, no, we don't allow that. And then when you are leaving the library, you have to be checked. Please, in good faith, because there are people, with pockets, and you've got small books like this one, for example. You can easily put it in your pocket. So they check when you are moving out of the library. So don't take it badly. Don't get annoyed. The rules are here. Just show your books. They check them. If someone wants to check photos, allow them and take no offense. We don't mean to be rude, but that's how we operate. Okay, stealing and attempting to steal a library book or property is an offense, and they will not allow you in the library. If you steal, certainly you are going to be blacklisted. And that's very bad. Okay, smoking, eating, or drinking are not allowed. Not even water. Don't take water, because our books might get wet. See, as I said, we are keeping the books, the journals for other generations. So don't take anything to eat. Don't take anything to drink. Just leave them outside there. Audio or cassette players, however small, are not permitted into the library. But these days, people have headsets. We have no objection. As long as you are not, your music is not loud. I suppose it's okay. All right. So there are lots of sleepers are not allowed. Someone talked about decency. Wherever you are, be decent. Don't move around in slippers. Going to the library in slippers. No, be decent. You are a university student. Smart is the word. That's how we want to keep you. And there's so many other rules, really. There are many. Let me look at, as I said, you have to register, maybe from tomorrow. You'll be given 2 cards, 2 green cards. They allow you to borrow books. You can take books out of the library, but you have to borrow them legally. You are going to get those cards. And if you want to borrow a book, they are going to put something inside there. And then they stamp the book behind, telling you that this book should be returned on whatever date. And please look at that date. I beg you. We've had students, they don't look at the date. There is a stamp. Maybe they give you 1 week. If that book is overdue, we count. I think it's around 3,000 shillings every day. That's a lot of money. That's the pastor was talking about unavoidable expenses. No, you don't have to pay for that. So just stick to that date. If you haven't finished using that book, come again and ask for good days. They'll give them to you. Just tell them, I still need this book. They are going to stamp again and give you a week or two. I don't know. Okay, so please let's avoid these unnecessary expenses. No, none of us has lots of money. We are poor people. Your parents, think about them. They've paid over $1 million for you to come. And now you go and ask for more money because you didn't return a book in time. No, we have to be mature. We have to be responsible. So be careful. So you're going to get 2 cards, and I think you can borrow 4 books with those 2 cards. They'll tell you no. But bring those books in time. And again, I have to tell you this. You have to keep those cards until you leave the university. 3 years for some of you, 4 years for some of you, the students. So these 2 cards, you keep them, because if you lose them, we fine you. It's 5,000 a card. I'm warning you, unavoidable expenses. Don't. Just keep them, but use them. There are some students, because I've mentioned that you are going to pay, you are going to be fined. The minute they get the cards, they keep them for 4 years without using them. No, use them. Use them, because you need the books. You need the books. Okay, so that one I had to mention it because there are students who say, after 3 years, they say, but why didn't you tell us? Hey, whatever. No, I'm telling you now. 2 cards, keep them. If you lose them, each one is 5,000. Okay, there is a lot to say, but I'll skip that one. About telephones, if you get a phone, make sure you put them on silence, the phones. Otherwise, you are going to be fined 20,000. 20,000, there are expenses you can avoid. Why don't you switch off the phone? Because if it goes off in the library, you are going to be fined. So please, let's take care. So those are some of the things I have to tell you, but we shall tell you more once you come to the library. We do our orientation in the library because it's hands-on. There are so many things we have to show you. But this one at least I've told you about the rules so that you know right from day one. So I hope to see a lot of you in the library. Have a very good evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Florence, the University Librarian, for taking us through what we are supposed to do while in the library. I would like to thank each and everybody. We are almost coming to the end of our day 2 of orientation. It has been a very long day, but I think this has happened because of the low turnout. My brothers and sisters, tomorrow we are coming to the 3rd day, which is our very last day of orientation. I expect us to keep time. You realize we started at around 2:30. So, and we had a number of speakers. So I would request us tomorrow to come early so that we can have the time to tour around the university. So, Madam Florence, tomorrow we are coming to the library, and I hope we shall find the people to help us. The whole big number and even more will be at the library tomorrow. I would like to remind us that tomorrow we have very few people to talk to us, but then we have a very, very important exercise to carry on, which is the swearing-in ceremony. We shall definitely have the Vice Chancellor of the University, together with His Excellency, the Guild President, will be here in our midst to see the new students we are in. So please help communicate to a friend, whoever is doing the Kumba University as a new student, please let them come and be sworn in so that they can be fully be part of the Kumba University. So we shall have a communication from the quality assurance of the university, and thereafter we shall have more presentation from the e-learning department, and then we shall have my Lordship, the Chief Justice, who was with us, but he has moved out for other official duties. He will say a word or two, then we shall invite the Vice Chancellor to carry on the exercise after his small communication, to swear in the new students, and thereafter we shall say congratulations and welcome to fully students of the Kumba University. So please, tomorrow, let's make sure by 1:30 we are here. We have to continue with the anthem because we have to sing the anthem when the Vice Chancellor is around. It's going to be our responsibility to sing the university anthem. So let's not sleep completely. Let's keep one eye open to learn. Don't grab, learn. Just follow the rhythm, the beats of the anthem, so that tomorrow we can come and we do not embarrass ourselves before the Vice Chancellor. They might think I have not done a good job. Otherwise, unless there is something else, I would like to request, if in case we still have Thomas Victor given in the house, to come and lead us to the closing prayer. Maybe raise up for the closing prayer. Please keep time tomorrow.
Nice to meet you, everyone. I'm so grateful to see your faces and see that we are on the same level, so people moving together. Let's pray. Almighty Father, I want to thank you for this wonderful day that you have brought to us. I want to thank you for the people you have invited and brought to speak unto us. I want to also thank the administration of this campus at large, that whatever they have spoken, they sound so true, and they come from you. And we put this information into action in our lives, so that from where we shall continue, so not be having some things like mess up or misunderstandings amongst us. We will do exactly what they have spoken, the guidelines, the rules, the advice they have given us, Father. May you plant them in our hearts and in our minds, so that we shall not be led by other circumstances that we may not like at the end. Call upon your guidance as we go to, and as we go to our various destinations or places of rest, but we still want to ask for protection in wherever we shall be. And tomorrow we still ask that you give us that acknowledgement and the knowledge of understanding as we enter our final day of orientation. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray and believe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters, for keeping it up now. My sincere apologies to you for this long, but I pray that tomorrow will keep time. Please, 1:30, let's be here. Have a good night.